Hi, this is Vicki with About Ordinary Women. Today I'm going to do a basic trinket box. This tutorial is more about how to make the box than how to veneer the box. I love to make these. These are fun, they're easy, and you can make them in all kinds of different shapes and sizes. So let's get the supplies together and we'll get started. The supplies needed are a couple of cookie cutters, one slightly smaller than the other one, acrylic roller, a clay blade, Exacto knife, liquid polymer clay. I'm using Cato's poly clay, cane of your choice. I'm using this Polymer and a leaf cane, a complementary color to the cane for the box. I'm going to be mixing this with this. For the box, I've also been known to use original Sculpey for this. I'm going to need a background color. Since mine has got a translucent background, I am going to be using translucent polymer clay. I'm going to get all my clay conditioned and I will be right back. I have the clay rolled out. It's already mixed. I have the clay rolled out to the second thickest setting on my pasta machine, which is about 2 to 3 millimeters thick, about 2 millimeters actually. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out 2 small squares. These are going to go for the lids and the bottom of the boxes. I'm going to cut out 2 bigger squares. Set those aside for right now. I'm going to take a straight edge and get me a straight line. I can also give myself a straight edge to work with. You want to go below the lip on your cookie cutter and then just slowly wrap it around. If it tries to crack, recondition your clay and roll it back out again. I've had it happen a few times and it's annoying, but just slowly work it around. Keep it right up to that rim. And you press down here a little bit, just like if you were actually rolling, it'll give you a little mark. Gives you an idea where you need to cut at. And just bring it around and connect it together. Work out the seam. And then just slice off the excess. Oops, went a little too deep there. I'll fix that in a second. Just want to get rid of the excess here. Just go along the cookie cutter. Make sure it's even with the cookie cutter and then just press it in. Kind of work the seam out a little bit. It's going to be covered up anyhow, so a lot of any marks here are not really going to show, but they will, like on top. Okay, that one's ready to be baked. I take my square and I use the back of my blade and I just do a slight score line. I don't want it deep. I'm just wanting to do it to where I can center my piece. Do this on one of the small pieces. Now, when you place this, the small piece on top of the large piece, if you center up the lines where they all match up, your little piece is going to be about center on, almost perfectly center on top of the larger piece. You want this little lip, because this is going to sit on that lip, and the Exacto blade will end up cutting a little bit off. We're going to do that with both pieces. And then I'm going to pre-bake those. I'm going to bake them at 275 for about 15 minutes. If you're using Fimo, you're going to want to bake at 230, but don't bake. You don't need to bake it more than about 15 minutes, just because you're going to be rebaking it again. So I'm going to finish this up and get these in the oven. Okay, when you get everything baked, let me scoot this in here a little bit. You want to break the seal on your clay for edge of cookie cutter. I break it on both sides, and then I take the corners and I start working it down at the corners, because that seems to be the easiest way to get it to come off. I mean, sometimes it's tougher than other times. This time it's a little complicated. It's kind of being tough. But once you get about halfway down, it's a lot easier to slip off. Just work it down a little bit at a time. You don't want to break it. Okay. You want to slide it on one of your other squares. You want to look around. You're going to have some where it comes up a little bit or down a little bit. Just go ahead and take your Exacto knife and then just trim it. You want to trim it straight as you can. This way you don't have a lump at the bottom of your box. This is all going to be covered up anyhow, so if it looks a little rough, that's okay. I already put a little bit of liquid polymer clay on here, but I'm going to put a little bit more. Just work a little bit of polymer clay around. Make sure you get it up on the little sides there and on the flat. If any of it squishes out, you can always wipe it off. And then just sit your box back on there. Because my square is not exactly square. I got to make sure everything goes back to where I took it off. Otherwise, I end up with little parts being out. That's pretty good. Because the minute it squishes out, just wipe it off. Because you're going to put more on the sides anyhow. Same with the lid. I like to put a little bit of the liquid polymer clay. And then I let it sit for a little while I'm making my slices and my cuts for my laminate, because that's what I am doing, basically laminating this. I take it down to the sides a little bit because I will be bringing it all the way down to the sides. Okay, you want to roll your background color out. You want it on the, I usually do about the 5th, 6th, or the 6th thickest setting. I want it pretty thin. And I roll out just enough to cover the lid and the sides of the box. And then I go ahead and I take my large cookie cutter and I don't cut it out. I just put an impression. So I kind of know how far out I have to go for the lid, because I will be pressing it down around the outside of the lid. And then I just adhere. You want to get it as flat as you can with your roller. But you don't want to go in one direction, because otherwise it stretches your pattern out too much. And you don't want to distort your pattern. You want to flatten it into where it's, you really can't tell where you put your pieces and the other clay. You want to center your piece as best you can. Let it sit. And I go ahead and start bringing down the sides. Gently. I'm wanting to come to a point on the sides. I'm going to cut off the excess, but I don't want it to crack or leave any marks. Pinch it together, because you want to squish all of the air out, so go from the inside out. You want to squish all of the air out. Okay. Turn it over. Move things around a little bit if you need to. Stretch them around. Take your blade, and on top of where the other clay, where your baked clay is, just start trimming it. When it comes down, just kind of push it on down, almost pillow it over. You're going to be cutting that off and getting rid of it anyhow. Very gently cut your way around. You'll probably be doing some more trimming still, but there's no sense in taking off excess where you don't need to take it off. Let's see, still got excess there, but go ahead and pillow it in. Make sure it's adhered well. You can come in with the fine tuning and pull that down. You can do this with a regular clay blade, or you can do it with an Exacto knife. Either one works. Okay. That is going to be ready for baking. Be careful when grabbing your box, because it's going to be sticky. Place it in the center. Just let it fall over your box like that. If you add a little bit of the liquid, that's okay, because it's going to be, you do not meet at the corner. You want to meet a little on the other side if you can do it. Make sure your box is staying together. You do just like you did the top. You're going to trim just the very edge. Make sure it all comes together. Just trim it up. Make sure it's all adhered well and all the air is pressed out of it. You have to press inside out. And then wipe off your fingerprints. And bake. I'm baking at 275, well, bake according to package instructions. I'm baking at 275, but I'll bake this one for an hour because this is almost done. I'll be back when it's finished. Okay, I got my little box done. It's not perfect, but this was more showing you how to make it versus how to decorate it. You could open and close it. If you find that your lid's a little bit hard to open and close, just take a fingernail file and file off a little bit of this right in here. Make sure you dust it off and put it back on. And you've got a nice little box. You can make these in any shapes and sizes, because I've got another little square one here. It's actually even a little bit smaller than this one. We're not going to talk about the fingerprints on that. That's off my grab shelf. This is another one I've made in a triangle form. They're cute, they're fun, they're actually really easy. And have fun with these guys. Be creative with it. Please like this video. Subscribe to my channel. Come visit me at aboutordinarywomen.com. Visit my Facebook channel. If you make anything at all, go ahead and post it on my Facebook page. I would love to see what you do. Have fun, be creative, and I'll see you on the next video.